Hello, welcome. Hello, Mgtows. Welcome to sunny Cleveland, Ohio, where all the men are masculine and all the women are, well, all the women are. And it's 90 degrees and sunny today, and it's balls hot. So we're just going to do some Mgtow topics today, whether that be hobbies or Mgtow things or what you do to spend your time and what productive manners you do that. How you doing today, Joey?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing good here in sunny Austin, Texas.
Sunny Austin, Texas, where all the girls are and all the men are masculine. where all
Yeah.
the girls are, where all the girls are something.
Predatory? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Yeah.
just use Marcus the metaphysical, where all the girls are girls and all the men are masculine.
Yeah. Oh, is that what he used to say?
No, that's his analogy, Plato's analogy on all women are like that. We can go over that real quick if you want. All women are like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Some people, no, all women are like that because all women are like what? All women are like women. So all women are like that runs to a syllogistic truth. Now, not all women are like that. Not all women are like what? Not all women are like women. So that runs to a syllogistic false. So Plato
Hmm.
quashed that one, and all women are like that is just happens to be a true.
Yeah.
So all women are like women, and no matter what that is, and we all know about. We use all women are like women, and all women are like that, and the gun's in the room. There is a gun in the room, and that's a true.
Well, I made a good decision getting away from that simp because of his girlfriend was I think she got wind that I was moving back or to Texas, and now she created all this problems. So yeah, she just it didn't matter if it was her and her personality, because right, you can replace her with any woman and it would have been the same scenario for me, and I wasn't smart enough to recognize that, and I suffered for it. So when you're when
Yeah,
you're
you're
in the vicinity of any woman, whether it's via a simp or directly, you're gonna put yourself in bad spots.
yeah you. We're gonna break one of the cardinal rules. You're gonna interrupt cuddle time.
Yeah, yeah,
Ooh,
yeah,
interrupting his cuddle time or her cuddle time. She gets 1 day for cuddle time.
yeah. I, yeah, my
Yeah,
move now is if I'm around women, I just kind of play dumb. I just play dumb. I think that's the best. That's a good way to do it. Just play dumb and
just play.
act very naive around them. Yeah,
Yeah.
act like you don't know what they're capable of, which we know is very. They're capable of flinging knives at you and everything.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's hard to say what's going to come day to day. I mean, everything changes. It seems like every day I take my bike out and I go for a ride, and I'll end up at a store, get my milk or cigarettes or a beer or whatever I'm getting that day, and it's always something new, some new something new I didn't see. It's like wow, that's interesting. And
Yeah,
they are very creative in their ways to disturb society.
yeah. Like the crying. I think somebody mentioned it yesterday or 2 days ago about the crying, the fake crying
The fake
or
crying,
something.
yeah, that's the Hoka version, the female version of the Hoka oofy doofy.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, just great garner attention, and he proved that does work. Yes, it works for the incels. The oofy doofy does work.
yeah. Well, they got married, I guess, Juliet Lewis and Hoka. So she changed her name. She didn't want to
She's
took
Juliet
Hoka.
Hoka now, or
Yeah,
Juliet Lewis Hoka.
yeah. She didn't want to give up her maiden name, but
She did not give up her maiden name. She didn't know Hoka and
no.
Juliet Lewis.
He
Wow,
finally found the one. He finally found the one, and
They
And
do
she's
look
like
kind of
an
alike.
11 out of, yeah, she's an 11
Oh
out of
man,
10.
she's an 11 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, she is.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I
she's
did?
great.
You know what we got off last night. It was about midnight, so I put on the movie and I watched the what was it with oh God, boy, now I forgot what it was. It was with Mark Wahlberg when the Earth started turning against people.
Mark
The
Wahlberg?
happening. Yeah, the happening.
Oh, I never saw it.
Oh, and I remember watching it back in the day when it first came out, and that the goofy girl in there, she looks just like
Yeah.
she may even be Juliette Lewis. I don't think it was Juliette Lewis, but she's got a similar look and everything, some weird eyes and stuff. And then I just started noticing after being Mgtow for all these years, and then not one. I seen the movie back in, it must have been 2000 or something. And then
Yeah.
I seen it again the other day, and I was like, Mark Wahlberg is such a puss. That
Oh, yeah.
he plays such a puss in that, and it's like when I first seen it before when I was an MRA or something. I can't remember when it came out. Uh, I thought, well, he's normal, and then I realized that it might be the worst movie ever made.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's an interesting guy, huh? Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Marky Mark and
That
the
was,
Funky Bunch. Is that Mark Wahlberg?
yeah, that was Mark Wahlberg. Wahlberg or Wahlberg?
Wahlberg.
Wahlberg.
Yeah, the actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure who Marky Mark was. That was the singer. There wasn't he? Didn't he had some contact with Britney Spears?
I don't know. That's probably up his alley. Remember?
Marky Mark.
Remember he did that? Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Remember he
he
did
had
that
that
movie Fear? He did that movie Fear.
fear.
He did like he did like he was like a stalker. He stalked like a teenage daughter. Like it was a yeah. He did
Oh
a
yeah,
movie called Fear.
that was Mark Wahlberg and the Funky Bunch.
Yeah,
I
and you
remember.
remember like it's like such an unrealistic movie, and it's like so crazy. Like well, all movies are pretty much unrealistic, but
Yeah, all movies are written. They're fantasy fiction, and they're based on people's ideas of how the world is and some existential crisis, and then they pull out of the existential crisis with some just get a girl and get married.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah, but
That's the simp answer to life, and isn't it?
yeah, yeah,
I mean, you can get that advice at any bar. Oh man, I'm just not having great days anymore, and the bartender looks up, just find a girl and get married.
yeah. All your problems will magically go away.
All your problems will magically go away. And really, if you had a hobby and you weren't sitting at the bar, you'd probably be interested in life and learning stuff, and whatever that hobby may be. We call it a hobby. I think a hobby is a silly word for it. I think Mgtow has to rename hobby into something cooler,
Yeah, yeah.
which we
Well,
can do today.
well, it's like my friend I was telling you about. You know, the guy's in his 60s for crying out loud, and he's educated. I mean, just because you go to college doesn't make you educated. But he went to college. He's got, he guy made a lot of money. He's like a really good salesman and worked for some of the best, top companies in the world. And so we're talking about his girlfriend, and he's thinking about breaking up with her. I said, so well, don't you have any hobbies? He goes, no, I have no hobbies. And he's like serious. He's like, and it's like, man, it's like you're in your 60s, you have no hobbies. I mean, that's understandable if you're like you don't even know what hobbies mean when you're a teenager or when you're young,
Yeah.
But like you're in your 60s. I mean, that tells me you don't even know who you are,
No, we always had like hobbies. It might be a how you were raised thing too, because when we were growing up, there was always hobbies around us. My mother was really big on stopping at the craft store and getting things, and then she would just throw them out in the middle of the rec room, and like put something together, make something, glue something, do some art, do something. There was a vast variety of things for us to do, and that's where I learned how to knit Mgtow hats.
Yeah, yeah.
But
No, it looks good. What's on that hat anyway? I don't see it. Like red stuff. Yeah,
oh,
like red emblem on there.
yeah,
Oh, what is it? Oh,
Mgtow.
Mgtow. Oh, nice. Yeah, it looks good.
That's a Mgtow pussy hat, so we can be.
Wow. Yeah, you can order a bunch of Mgtow lights and pass them out too. I'm sure a lot of guys will
Yeah,
take those.
yeah, get some Mgtow lights, and we can sit around. But hobbies, yeah, it's a learned thing, I suppose. My hobby is building e-bikes, and there's a lot that goes on with that, and
Yeah,
so in the ray gun. I'm
yeah,
gonna I'm gonna build a ray gun, and then Mgtow will be the most powerful force in the world. Uh, what else do I do?
yeah,
Fusion, cold fusion, hydrogen production. I got in my garage. I like to screw around with that. So there's a variety of things in the garage that I can always screw around with.
yeah. Oh, look, RP's in the chat. Also, I was thinking he
Yeah,
might jump in today. I think he wanted to jump in. I don't know.
RP
Drop the
one.
link. Oh, look, RP's in the chat.
Okay, I
Yeah,
was just
I don't know if
checking.
he's gonna. Well, he's turning into a Mgtow light anyway. So no, just kidding.
Is he going Mgtow light?
I'm just joking, RP. He's been very sensitive lately.
He's
He
like,
goes, no, I'm Mgtow. He goes, I'm Mgtow Max. I'm not Mgtow light.
I'm tired. Yeah, we're all tired. It's Sunday. We're supposed to be sleeping. Uh, yeah,
Yeah,
we got to get a Mgtow light in someday, and we can find out what his girlfriend says.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because that's so interested.
Well, you got to find hobbies. I mean, I used to play a lot of poker and bet sports, but now I only bet like $10, $20 parlays now. I don't bet a lot anymore, but it's something I enjoy. I just enjoy because you got to be careful with gambling because you don't want to lose all your money and get addicted. And
Yeah.
so, but that's something I enjoy is just handicapping the games and bet small bets and you don't get hurt when you do that, and it's just fun to follow the games and so that's one of the hobbies I have is just handicapping sporting events and
Okay.
a lot of different like bike riding is definitely getting in nature, bike riding. I was driving through Vegas a couple weeks ago, and you should see the scenery. Like I like it took like I didn't I lived in Vegas for like 10 years, and like I never noticed like Red Rock how nice it is over there. And I just happened to catch a nice glimpse of the background, with the mountains, and I was like, wow. I like it's always been there. I just didn't notice it all these years. I never
Okay.
noticed that I lived there, but I
Yeah,
was
that's
able
the
to really get
classic.
a nice.
That's the
Yeah,
classic scene that kind of rolls up out of Vegas, and then where all the bodies are buried.
yeah. Yeah. But it's just having that as a hobby of like taking pictures, and I did that a lot in the summer in upstate New York, or just taking pictures of different things in nature. Like that's a hobby of mine. Just doing that.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I think it's important to understand photography and what you're doing when you're out there too. It's it's an indication when you look through the lens, you're looking for things that are appealing to you. So you're telling the world about what you find beautiful and what you find interesting when you take those pictures. It will reflect your personality, and
yeah.
and and
Well, it's
you,
funny you say that because that simp I was telling you about, like every now and then he'll send me a picture of a female, and whatever,
yeah.
right? And then he's always asking me, "What do you think of her? What do you think of her?" what do you think? You know, he does Tinder. He's one of these unevolved beings that does Tinder.
Hmm.
And what do you think of her? How does she look? It's like, it's like, come on, man. It's like, I always tell him, I said, well, when I used to do, I'm embarrassed enough to say 20 years ago, I was on those online dating sites. This is 20 years ago, though. I haven't done it in, probably 15 years now. But
Uh,
what I told him is that, personality, like you don't really know a person on the picture. It's like the pictures lie. Like in terms of we taking a picture of a human being, like
right. Yeah.
because I've seen women that were very average to below average looking, but you meet them in person and their personality kind of shines. And
Hmm.
and they're just nicer to be around. And then you meet women that look good in their pictures look good physically, but then you meet them and they're like dead fish, But
Yeah. Yeah. That's the picture is
yeah,
the same thing. It's the eye of the photographer. What was the photographer looking for in the picture? And then he finds it and then he snaps it. And then, but that's what he was seeing at that moment. That's what he was looking for. Uh,
yeah,
but in reality, it could have been, just it was just a moment, and everybody has great moments, everybody has bad moments, and they will, yeah, photography can't lie to you, or you'll get a different perception of what he was seeing, and you should,
yeah.
yeah.
I just thought it was interesting though.
They said when next time your buddy sends you a picture, just say, the pelvis. You just tell them the pelvis area is off. They don't run fast. The Q influx to the tibia and the fibia is off, so they can't run. What?
Yeah. But anyone that sends you those type of things, like a clip of a woman doing something crazy or like a nudie picture or something, it's like it
Yeah,
really does reveal a lot about their
it
personality.
reveals a
And
lot about
it
the
just
person taking the picture and
right,
the sound. Yeah, and if that's all
right,
they
the
care
same,
about,
right.
yeah, yeah. I got
And
into
there's
photography early. That's where I got my idea, my thing about, oh, just when you walk out of a store, just thanks. You're doing a great job. I really appreciate you being here, and that's where that comes from.
yeah,
Because it was photography therapy for anger,
yeah.
and
Oh,
that's that picture.
I think my buddy's like catching on to my pots for cancer because he's calling me right now. Like I'm
Oh,
not gonna I'm not gonna answer the phone, but just really weird, huh? Like this is like you did it yesterday too.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe he's on to my podcast.
yeah. Maybe he is.
I don't think so. I don't think so though. I don't think so.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's going to get an earful if he listens to him.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I told him, listen, I'm worried about your safety, your physical safety, which I am,
Right. That's
because
what's important to you.
right, right. Like you don't think that a woman's capable of, like, he seems to have this idea women aren't capable of doing something really crazy, but he's already been punched in the face. So it's like, you've been warned. And but anyway, it's just sad how he doesn't really have any hobbies into his 60s. It's like, geez, what are come on. You know.
Yeah, you should have some kind of a hobby. It's like,
Yeah.
or,
Crossword puzzle. It could be something
but
simple like crossword puzzles or
right.
collecting
Yeah,
stamps
I'll
or
bet
something.
you.
It sounds cool. Yeah, it sounds corny, but it's really not. I don't think it's
Yeah,
corny at all.
yeah. I'll bet you his garage is a carport,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's
Well, my
got
cousin
his.
used to do that. He used to fix up old cars and
Yeah, yeah. For the
Mustangs.
Sims garage, it's a his and hers carport, and it just covers cars. For a
Yeah,
Mgtow, it's got a workbench and some tools and places to do things.
yeah.
Does he have tools?
No, he's just one of these like he's from the city.
Oh,
He's from NYC, so he's one of these guys. He grew up in the city, and he's like, you know,
so that
never
extra,
took a walk in nature, and never,
so that extra 1,600 feet in his garage just goes for parking cars. That's sad.
oh, it's terribly sad. They don't even know
Yeah,
what they're missing out on. These people, they have no clue what they're missing out on. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. My son
because
was
I got
just
out
talking.
this year, it was like, I got out when it was usually if it's under 30, I don't walk, but if it's 30 or better, I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna go for a
Yeah.
walk.
You go for a
You
walk
know?
and kind of
Yeah,
check out the world the way it is that day and see what's an interesting about it.
yeah,
Different. Yeah. You notice different weather, different climate, different times of the years. You're always going to get something unique and interesting. Uh,
yeah, yeah.
but
Yeah, that's right. I loved it when I saw that turtle. I was like so excited. Like
did
he's
you?
hanging out. Yeah, because he was trying to cross he was by the Erie Canal, and he was trying to cross the trail.
Yeah.
Once I and he's just going so slow, But I tell you what, that's not something you want to like. Somebody that doesn't understand nature, they would like maybe try to pet it or something. That thing will bite your freaking finger off, man.
Oh, is it a
Not
snapping turtle?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. You don't want to get close to those things. Like they'll.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta. Yeah, I was like, but
We
but
used
the
to make
shell, you could tell how hard that shell was. You could just.
Yeah, we used to make turtle soup, and turtle soup is delicious. And we used to have to go hunt the snapping turtle down, and this creek that used to be in back of our house. And hunting snapper turtle is real dangerous. We try to find them where they're up on the where they crawl out up a little bit and just grab them. But sometimes the real way is to reach underneath the bank and kind of feel around and look for their holes. But they could take a chunk right out of. They got those little beaks that
Mhm.
they will take a chunk right out of your finger.
Oh yeah.
I sat there. You know what? I was fishing. It was no, it was Pennsylvania once, and I was fishing there and I was catching black crappies. That was really great. I was doing really well, and I put them on a stringer, and I threw them in the drink next to where I was fishing. And I lifted them up, and I realized that there was a bunch of snapping turtles down there, and they had eaten like most of my fish. But there were little like square, little like not like beak shaped little things just taken out of the fish. They just
Yeah.
ate them up. I was like,
Yeah.
there goes my whole morning. I think I had like 16. I was like, good. I'm gonna eat well today. I'm gonna throw some on, cut them up, and nope, they ate them all. I didn't even see it happening either. Usually I catch things like that, and turtles or something.
Even like geese, like they got a dark side about them too.
Yeah,
Like
geese. I
they've
got
snapped at me. Yeah, they've snapped
yeah,
at me in nature. Yeah.
yeah. You walk up on them geese while they're sitting next, and they got their little ones. Oh, they'll peck you. And
Oh
I had
yeah.
a I have a cool story, a fishing story about geese too. My buddy, remember when those the floater weights came? There were floater. Um, they're just little floaters you can get into, and they had like fishing pants on, and you drop into it, and you float around the lake, and you can go fishing,
Yeah.
and you just kind of walk, and it's just a little floaty thing. It's just a And my buddy got us a bunch of these, and we went down to the lake. We all jumped in and started fishing. And he was like, "I'm gonna float over by the geese," and we are like, "Don't do that."
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't move real fast in those things. The geese pecked him half to death once he got
Oh
up on
wow.
him. He had little cuts all over him. He was like, and it was. We were laughing and drinking beer because you can put beer inside those floaty weights, and we were just laughing. But he got really pecked up by the geese. We were like, "Don't you shouldn't have went over there."
Yeah.
But it was funny. You can laugh at your buddy's pain once in a while.
Oh yeah. Well, that's when you got to call Hoka, and
Call Hoka and like, Hoka, what would you
take care of
do?
it.
And he'll pull out his, fishing with Hoka, volume 1, fishing with floater weights, watch out for the geese.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chapter 1. Yeah, Hoka's got a book on anything you want.
Yeah, he's written it all, and he's got multiple volumes too.
Multiple volumes, different opinions on the same subject, and
Yeah,
yes,
he
Hoka
taught
put a
Pete
new book.
Rose how to sign baseball autographs too. Like I didn't know that. Did you know that?
What's that? Oh yeah, Pete Rose. He taught him how to play cards and play baseball.
Yeah, and I think that's the Hoka conspiracy. He got Rose into the gambling, and then so that way Rose, when he would get denied the Hall of Fame, and that way his signature would be worth more money. So
Yeah,
that was like a marketing tool that he got from the Hoka. The Pete Rose learned that from Hoka, like how to
yeah,
increase his value after retirement. It was actually not to be in the Hall of Fame. That was no, that
yeah.
was because Hoka's because Hoka's living. He wasn't living in Cincinnati at the time, and Pete
Oh
Rose was
yeah,
managing, and yeah, Hoka was the bookie, and I don't know, but yeah, yeah, it's good to have hobbies, and like I said, like even I used to like kind of joke around about these people that have stamp collections or rock but now it's like those people are interesting most interesting people around, that have
oh,
those like collections and those little hobbies that like I find them to be really fascinating type people.
right. Yeah, yeah. They can always teach you something, or they're always useful. It always seems like they're useful. I just noticed your bike. You put up a picture of your bike.
Oh, I did? Where?
Yeah, in your hotel room.
Oh yeah. Oh, you saw that? Oh, you saw the bike? Oh,
Yeah,
you saw it in the hotel room. Oh yeah. Oh, it showed up. Okay. Oh, it did.
yeah. It seemed to just show up because I didn't notice it before.
Yeah, I didn't mean to take a I didn't mean to take a picture of it, but it must have came through, and I just yeah, I have it with me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but I just haven't been exerting myself too much because I've been running around all over the place. It's in storage now, so. But I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna travel. I'm traveling around, and I don't know. I think if if I don't get a decent job by September, I'm gonna just go teach again. I'll just go teach, and I might be done. I might be done with corporate.
Purple World, just go teach, and then
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I might just
yeah,
retire and semi-retire and just substitute. And I got a. I'm not super rich, but I have enough. As a Mgtow, I'm super rich. I have enough to. I have enough to get me through to Social Security, and then just substitute teach to pay the bills. And I got my, I'm happy with that. I'm not gonna fight it. I'm not gonna.
you're
I'm not
not
gonna
gonna
fight
go.
it unless something really good comes along.
Yeah, if you can, and you can either take a year off and just kind of minimize your bills and look around and
Yeah, yeah,
reposition your life, or
yeah. I really should get up to the Seattle. I really need to get up there and check it out. Seattle, Portland, and now is really the time to do it because the weather
yeah,
is good, and I can get up to maybe the Dakotas and Minnesota, like I Wisconsin. Those are the only areas I haven't been to.
okay, yeah,
So,
I've never been
so
up in the Seattle area either.
yeah, and that's the beauty of this Airbnb. So if you want a good stock, I'm starting to think Airbnb is going to be a really big time stock. I think it's going to be $1,000 stock. It's like
Yeah,
100.
they're sitting low right now because of the pandemic,
Yeah.
right? And if you buy in and they go back to what they were, you're definitely just going to make some money.
Well, it
And
peaked at 220. It peaked at 220. Now it's trading at like 150, 140, 150. I
yeah,
think
140, okay.
because there's a thing. I'm pretty good with finances, right? I don't waste money, even though I used to gamble a lot and was a little reckless at times. But I'm pretty much I'm pretty smart with my money. I'll put it that way. So, but I've been spending a lot of money on lodging and it's going to Airbnb. So, for a guy like me, and I know it's only one, listen, it's only one, I'm only one person, but I just see the value. See, here's the thing: the value is not only to the person that's myself that's taking the lodging. The value goes to the host. The host is getting. Instead
Yeah,
of getting
those.
$1,000 so let's say guy's got like 3-bedroom house, right? So he's gonna rent 2 rooms out, maybe say like I don't know, let's just say 600-700 a piece, right? he can actually with Airbnb he can generate probably over $1,000 a piece with those rooms, right? You follow me?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like my friend in San Diego, his friend does it. She's getting double what she would in rent if she had a steady person renting every month. Now the only difference is you're going to have maybe some transient people. You might get a goofball guest.
Right.
Whereas
Yeah.
whereas if you're renting, you're kind of vetting out the person because you have more information on them, their credit history, all this kind of stuff, right? So there's a little bit of risk, but I think that the risk is really minimized because the software for Airbnb is really good, and you have like a kind of a merit system where people review you as a host or as a guest. You get reviewed. So my reviews I get 5-star reviews because I always leave the place clean and I'm quiet and.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just think that's a really good stock, and it allows someone like myself to do some traveling, And what you do is you leave your stuff in storage. You leave it in storage, and then you just you can stay in that city for an extended period of time. It's really good. I really enjoy it. I enjoy Airbnb a lot, and because you're saving money too, and then also the experience is better than staying in a hotel because you feel more.
Right. There's the people are there, and it's more
homey, more of a homey atmosphere.
Cool. Yeah, it's nice. Nice.
Yeah. So anyway,
what
were we talking about? I went from that to Airbnb. I don't know. I guess I was talking about.
We were talking about hobbies, and we're talking about simps and simp hobbies are girls, and they just want to play with the female form, and play with the Barbie dolls, and they can't veer away from that and imagine themselves in a world that there's other stuff,
Yeah. They're really
some of them. Yeah, some of them, some of them do have hobbies. I can think of some guys that were married that they played sports or just to get away, but that was always just to get away from the house. So this was like I'm bowling. I'm going bowling to get away from the house, but that's my night out and that's my hobby. And I often thought, and I used to do that when I was married. A Tuesday was bowling night on the league with the guys, and that was to get out of the house and get away from all the family stuff and work and stuff. And but that was a sort of invented hobby. It was like. And there was, it always seemed to me that there was some restrictions in that too. It wasn't a real hobby. Nothing was coming from it except from a bowling average and the right to say I got a trophy or something.
Yeah.
But now I do pretty much what I want, and even this right here, it's it's what I do and what I want to do.
Yeah. Well, that's a.
Now, is there a creativity thing that's stunted with simps, you think, because of the IQ problem with I mean, we'll just ask the existential question: is creativity attached to IQ and pretty much gender dynamics or social dynamics of your gender decisions?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's I suppose there's, like I say, you can't express yourself in your house anymore. You can't express yourself in most of your space. It's a shared space. So there's restrictions again. And that's what it always felt like. It always felt like there was restrictions on me expressing myself. Even in music, when I play my guitar and beat on my bongos and drums and shit. And I do got a new bongo set.
Well, there's another one, music. You're right. Like my neighbor who passed away last year, he's 88, 89. He started playing the trumpet when he was in his early 40s.
Okay.
And he played up until he died. He played up until he was about 86, maybe.
Good.
he had COPD, he couldn't play anymore. But he used to always tell me, and he's absolutely right. And I think I'm going to take up once I get my, once I get things together a little bit organized. Like I'm going to probably take up an instrument, because he used to tell me to play an instrument. He said, he started like a band, and he did all. Yeah, it was not. I went now. I went. I used to take him to his band practices. They used to play at this high school. Like he used to practice. These practice at this gymnasium, and they had. They were probably like, I don't know. I want to say like 30, 40, 50 people in that room. And I just thought it was the coolest thing. You see this band, and everyone's got different instruments, and they're all, and you got a guy directing everything. I just thought it was the coolest thing. And it's like, I mean, I played in the band when I was, like a little bit in high school. Like I did it for like a few weeks or a few months or whatever. I played the trumpet, and I just really wasn't into it. I was more into sports, but I was like really just, it like opened up my eyes, and it like how here's a guy that's in his 80s, and he's just having a great time, and people of all ages were there. I think the youngest person was probably in their 30s or 40s, but yeah, I just thought it was an interesting thing that he was pushing that hobby on me.
Yeah.
I think he was right.
Yeah. The music's always a good hobby, and I enjoy it myself. I do it a lot when I'm just sitting around, and it's either reading or music or in the garage if I have parts enough to work with in the garage. And that's always a problem with what I do is I have to have parts, and parts are expensive. And so I called my youngest son the other day. I'm going to give this new bike to him. Sort of looks like your bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to get a motor on my bike. Because my back, I really just went little, because I enjoyed the biking so much in nature that what happened was I threw my back, and then I couldn't walk for 4 days.
Yeah, I looked at your seat. Your seat, I have the same seat. I took off on the other one because it was so hard. That tan and black seat that they used to put on the Specialized. That also came on the Iron Horses and those brands, and then from there it was on the Cannondale too. And that seat was always bothered me. That is a hard seat, and so I put a new one on, and with a little spring action in it, and you can get a spring dropper. I don't think it's a dropper post, but you can get a spring that looks like a dropper post that has the hydraulic air inside of it. It's like and that'll cushion your. What you need is to cushion those little. You don't have any suspension on yours, so when you hit a rock or hit a curb or something, it hurts.
Yeah.
And that could jar your back out.
I fell off of it once.
If you're gonna drive,
I was riding to a bench. I was on a slope, and I was so cocky. I'm like, oh, I can take this slope and just glide to the bench. And the next thing boop, I just fell down. Freaking broke my shoulder.
Yeah, there's a couple things you can do to. I would go out and buy a shock for your bike instead of the hard. And put a shock on there, and then get some bigger tires. I think you're looking at they look like gravel bike tires that you got on there, and then put a seat with the springs on it, and then some bigger, maybe two. I think a Specialized will take up to 2.60s, and then it'll be much more comfortable if you put a 2.60 or a 2.40. I use 2.40s for me, and I'm pretty heavy. And they seem okay, nice, and with a little bit of grip. And I was looking at, you can get the Kendall, was the Maxxis. I don't know, can't remember who makes it. They're called Wormwood tires, and they're thick, and they'll fit on your rims, I think. And they have a wormy sort of pattern on it, but it's still a road tire. Yeah, they're not too bad either. I think they run 40 about $40 a piece.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun hobby. I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoyed it too much, like I said, and I
Enjoyed the hell out of
back,
it.
the back pain, and then it just kind of happened one day, and next thing you know, I couldn't walk because then went to my foot. Now I still have neuropathy in my foot, but it's going away. It's starting to go away now. Yeah, so it's taken about 6 months now. But yeah, so
I didn't look at what pedals you had on there. You have the clip-ons or the flats?
no, just flats.
They're flats, yeah. You always go with a wider flat on my pedals. And they're only $7, and you go with a bigger flat with some good hooks, some good knobs on them, and it spreads the weight around. Because I noticed even on this bike that I just put together, I was riding it the last couple of days, and they still have the plastic. I haven't changed the pedals over from the plastic, big store pedals or whatever you want to call them, and they're so small that they dig into my right below my heel, and it causes bruises on that, and then I can't pedal for like 2 days after that if I get a bruise on my heel. So I use the big ones, and I think this will be the first year I'm actually going to buy myself a pair of pedaling bike shoes, and bike shoes, and see how those work out.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah. You just keep going with it, and there's always an upgrade for a bike, and you get a new one, and you start working on it, and I upgraded to the full suspension too, because that just really I can just hit anything now. But yeah, someday I might be rich and be able to buy that Fox 40.
Yeah.
The good suspension, the good Fox are good. But that's like $1,400. That's that's when you start getting expensive.
Yeah. There's a lot of things. Finding out what you like, it's
Yeah. You have to go through a lot, and I went through 4 sets of shocks, and then I realized that the second pair that I bought for my bikes was my favorite, and they weren't that expensive. They're RST Aerials, and then I was like, oh well, it's you get into that man mode where, and I got to have the next best thing, and then I bought the next set was really nice pair of shocks, and then I was like, I really like the RST Aerials better. And they were $130. I think they went from 130. I got them on sale, and then they went up to like 340, and I was like, oh well, now we're talking a little more money. But it's all your personal preference and how you want that ride to feel.
Yeah.
Hobby, good hobby. Oh, I bought I bought that pad. So it's a phone pad for my bike. So I have a big pad now. I bought the big pad holder, so when I go in the park, I have a computer in front of me. I can take pictures and get directions and stuff like that right on my bike now. And I bought the 12 the 36 to 5 volt USB charger on there too, so I can charge as I go, and that makes it more comfortable.
Yeah. It's good having that motor.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
You think you can get away with a 350 watt? Keep it light on there, either a back or a. Oh no, you can't put it on the back because you got a what do you call it? You got a cassette on there. Well, yeah, you can still put a cassette on the motor,
Mm-hmm.
but you'd have to find a cassette motor.
I was gonna say it's good to have even if you're a strapping young lad, because you can
Yeah,
go further and you're not straining your. It's not even good to strain your body at any age.
right. It's best for uphills. Even the young kids, some they prefer the motors, the e-bike motors for uphill. For you got to go uphill so you can go downhill.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's
Well,
nice to be able
that's
to
the thing.
fly
I
right.
know flying, I'd be going pretty fast and people would pass me. Well, now I know why they were passing me. They had a motor. I didn't realize they had a motor.
Yeah, they're very inconspicuous now. I can build one where you wouldn't even notice that it did have a motor. A lot of
Yeah,
people,
that's why they were going so fast. I'm like, this guy's not even exerting any energy.
yeah, a
Like,
lot
look
of
how
people
fast he
ask me, it's like they'll look at my bike and go, and I'll tell them, no, there's a motor on there, and they'll go, no. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I remember this one guy was like probably 100 pounds overweight, and he was like going uphill, and I was like struggling
yeah,
to get uphill.
not
And
even
he
struggling.
like turns around, and he like smiles at me while he's going up the thing.
Yeah,
Obviously, he had a motor. I mean,
yeah, I got to do that every day. I could never make it up to get down to the river. There's how rivers are. They cut out the gorges, and I got to go down the gorge, and going up the gorge is a problem.
yeah,
That's quite an incline. Where if I get off the trail, there's this place where I have to go up a service road, and it's such an incline service road that I just get off the bike. Even with the motor, I have to get off the bike and push and walk up that incline. By the time I get to the top, I'm sucking air, but that's only when I go get wings at this wing place.
yeah. I
So
had
by the
wings
time
today.
you had wings today,
I
yeah.
went Buffalo Wild Wings again.
Oh, did you? Oh, cool.
Yeah, I went
I
again. Yeah.
I just did home cooking. I made some seafood fettuccine and
Yeah.
this morning. I usually make it for a couple days, and then I'll have seafood fettuccine for a few days, and it was a nice Sunday dinner, Sunday lunch. I like to eat early on Sunday.
Yeah.
In case I want to do something later.
That's what sucks about traveling. It's like it's hard to get settled into going out to eat too much. I don't know.
Yeah, I wish your back was good so you can take a ride out there and go.
Oh yeah.
Investigate. You have to get out of that big Las Vegas parking lot, don't you?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to give it some time. I mean, I'm scheduled to stay here till September. But here's another good thing about Airbnb is you can cancel if you need to. I mean, they sometimes charge a service fee. So we'll see. I'm going to the reason why I booked ahead of time, I had a reason. I booked till September was because you get a good host that has good reviews, and a lot of times they're booked. So you have to book it. It's good to book ahead of time and then just pay a little $50 cancellation or whatever, because you're saving like $300-400 if you book ahead. So it's like you're making a $500 bet, like for $50 that you're gonna stay. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, well, let me just stay here for now. I'm gonna give it a few months. If I get a good job, I'll stay. I already have a good plan, like I said, but yeah, like the culture here is, you have to find the bike trail, but they're out there. There's some bike trails.
There's always
tons
bike
of
trails, inner city to outer city.
Yeah.
They'll go. They'll start in the inner city and lead you out, and you can grab one of those and do that. And
it just sucks because I have a nice house that I have out here that I don't live in because I'm renting it out. So, I traded that for the flexibility of being able to travel more. So that's where Airbnb kind of is a nice thing too, because I have 3 rooms, right? So I could set up an Airbnb where I can have like a lock, right? And then I don't even need to be there to rent the property out. I can just, have a lock, and then people can get the keys from the lock, or they can, just have a code. And So you don't even have to be there for Airbnb. So now you're taking a risk that you're going to have a crazy tenant or guest, you know. So that's the
Okay.
only negative. But yeah, so Airbnbs are pretty incredible. Because even if you're traveling, let's say you live in Vegas and you want to go 2 weeks to New York, right?
Yeah.
So you can set up your Airbnb to where you're getting value even if you're traveling for 2 weeks. You can rent your place out for 2 weeks and pick up like money for that, right? Instead of just letting the house sit idle. But I can see why people don't do it though, is because they want their privacy or whatever. I get it, But yeah, Vegas has definitely got some. It's an evolving city. They're always making changes. And there's a place called Red Rock. I used to live over there in Summerlin.
Yeah.
And I used to see all these bikers just going up and down Red Rock. Like I'm talking hundreds. I'm not even exaggerating. Hundreds of bikers on a weekend that would go up and down that Red Rock casino area.
Okay. Yeah.
For biking, yeah, because the scenery is just incredible. So I don't know if have you ever heard of that Red Rock?
Yeah, I'm looking at it now on not Sedona. Yeah, Sedona.
Yeah, if you type in, let me see if I can type in like Red Rock biking, Las Vegas. Like,
oh yeah, I bet they got some trails.
yeah, but they would ride their bikes right on the road. Yeah, there's some intense bikers in Vegas. There's some world class, there's some world class bikers.
Oh yeah, you can go on the Red Rock Canyon Loop.
Oh yeah, it's pretty sick. But even again, like I'm looking at the pictures right now, and it's beautiful. To me, it doesn't compare to when you have all the trees and upstate and the water, and I don't know. I'd rather have the lake and but that is but the desert's nice too.
Yeah, I think if you got a gravel bike, but I think you'd need some better tires. You might want it because you got them thorns out there too.
Yeah.
You want to really be kind of, if you're going to go 30 miles away.
But it is nice. I'm looking at it right now. Red Rock Canyon. Yeah, it is pretty nice.
Red Rock Canyon looks nice.
Yeah, and that's in a really good area too. There's no crime, whatever.
Yeah.
it's in a really upscale area.
RP is in the chat. How's your sound, RP?
Sec. There we go.
There you go.
Yes. Is this RP Max or RP Lite?
It's neither one. RP just goes by RP now.
RP.
Because one thing talking about the bikes, honestly, like you should never gauge yourself about what other people are doing around you. The important thing is that like you're even out there on your bike in the first place. Because I started riding not my bike, but I rode bike last year, first time in a couple of years, and I went around downtown Toronto with a friend of mine, and we had a pretty good bike ride. Most of the place we're traveling on was pretty level. We did ride a far distance, like we were pretty much riding all day ever since morning.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, going back to the car, we had to ride uphill, and oh man, it's like that's when my knees said like enough is enough.
Yeah, you gotta have that mega gear for going up. And Joey probably got a mega gear on his bike, but most bikes don't come with the mega gear for uphill. And
so like if I had like a motor on that bike, I would have popped that motor on right there.
Yeah, that's where it helps out with me. It just if I need to get home fast, or I just pop. I always keep the pedal assist on. That keeps you from getting tired.
Yeah.
Because
the important thing is just getting out there. It's like, okay, if it's a little difficult for you, it's like, yeah, sure, have some assistance.
Right. Yeah.
But just get out there. That's the most important thing.
If you're a little older and you're that's what usually slows people down. Like me, I thought that at a certain point with my knee, my meniscus problem and my knee went, I thought that's it for me. Pedaling my bike, trail biking's gone for me. And then I put the e-bike together, and I was like, oh no, it's not. I can still do this, and it helps with the actual problem too.
Yes.
It helps you heal.
Because like I have a similar problem to that because like I've been running and jumping like most of my life up until like my late 30s or something like that, when I actually stopped playing basketball.
Yeah.
But like it was getting too much. It was getting too much on my knees, and plus after that, like a couple of years later, I ended up injuring both my knees.
Basketball is tough on your knees.
So like doing a lot of stuff like for years, like I didn't ride a bike or anything because I couldn't. It was too much pain I was having, and when it got better, it's like I didn't want to overexert myself either, right? So I continued riding the bike, but I stopped playing basketball for like almost like 7-8 years now. And like I'm 45 now.
Okay.
But yeah, no more running around the court for me.
No, yeah, I used to love playing basketball, but yeah, at some point you got to put those things away because they are rather stressing and everything. But yeah, you should get a motor on your bike too. RP, get you anywhere you want to go and give you a little bit of exercise while you do it, and it's fun as fuck.
Yeah, because like my bike, I just have to fix the brakes on it, and then I'll be back on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll take a look into the motorized stuff as well, because that could come in pretty handy.
Want me to send Hoka up to swim across and fix
Oh
your
no. Hoka was the first thing he would do. He'd probably jump over me.
He would jump over you and like, ah!
And then I'll be like, oh god damn it.
He'll be like, you TFL, you need your brakes fixed.
He would never let it go.
That's funny.
But yeah, like one way or another, it's like I went for a walk today because like I was inside the apartment for an entire weekend, and I was like, man, I have to get out. I have to get out and just like breathe some like fresh air, be out in the sun for a little bit.
Well, that's the good thing with riding the bike is sometimes it gives me the excuse. I just want to sit on the couch and watch TV and eat. I've discovered malto meal flakes, which are delicious. The dry sugar coated flakes. You can just eat them like. But
that's not the greatest. Oh well, as a little snack, like okay.
Yeah, sure. I use those and sit in front of the TV and it's like, yeah, maybe I'll just look out the window and like, good time for a bike ride, and then I just go for a bike ride.
Yes. But like maybe that's what it is. Maybe finding that motivation to either get you outside or to just get you doing something. Because
it gets you out and gets you doing something, and you look around, and once you get out there, there's nothing but fascination for me. It's like even if I'm riding through the city areas or something, people are waving and I'm smiling, and everybody sort of knows me in the neighborhood. I'm kind of unique looking, and so it's interesting to talk to people and you get down into wooded areas and drop down into the gorge. That's fun.
Yeah, because like I don't know if you notice, like if you like when you lack like any kind of drama in your life, it's kind of hard to like change your routine. So okay, like if you're inside all the time,
right? If
you have no drama, it's like why would you want to go out or meet anybody or whatnot? The thing is, like, you have to put in your own mind. It's like, okay, today I'm gonna get out, either just get some fresh air, or to work on a hobby, or to get some exercise or something like that. But like, this all comes like within your own person. Like, nobody's gonna tell you to come out. Nobody's gonna tell you. It's like you have to do something.
Yeah,
it's like you have to, like, you know what? I've been inside for too long. Let me go out and do something different. Stay away from the people who can cause drama, because I'm not saying like don't get yourself involved with people who cause drama.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's one of the bigger risk factors. We never really talk about drama and risk.
Well, that comes down to risk management.
Yeah, risk.
You guys did talk about stuff like that
Yeah.
before, not necessarily directly, but you guys talked about it.
Yeah,
Where like
how to avoid them kind of personalities would be important, unless you want to, if you're going out to clubbing or to a bar to get some chicken wings, and maybe you want to include someone that's going to be more exciting.
well, unless you're your best friend.
Yeah,
But,
unless you want to avoid that, it's like usually people that are high drama people have high personalities too, extroverted personalities, and they're fun to be around and everything, but that's where risk comes in. Extroverted personalities and risk are kind of go together.
because I go to the bars. Well, I actually haven't been to bars recently because of this COVID nonsense.
Yeah.
Toronto's been locked down like since forever, and the small window of time, what was it? I think in October last year, um, the bars were open, and I went over to the bar, right? Not to socialize or anything, just so I can get out the house, have a drink somewhere else that's not my house.
Yeah.
And I just go over there, have like 1 or 2 shots of rum, drink two beers, and then I just come home. No problem.
Yeah, no problems. Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, I'm not being like antisocial, but I'm not trying to engage too much with other people at the same time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes people say the silliest stuff. Sometimes that'll irritate you, and then what you left for is back. The stress factor. It's like no.
Yes.
No, I'm trying to de-stress, not re-stress.
Yeah. Like sometimes having to change your environment, like it's like we were talking about earlier, like getting out in nature, that's a change of environment for a lot of guys who are not used to being out in nature, because they either like work full time, they come home, they're in their house all day or all night. Don't really have to They don't really have a chance to enjoy that. But it's like when you come home, it's like instead of like staying at home, eat your dinner, watch your TV. I hope you don't. Well, okay. Well, I'm not saying anything about that. Take some time, take an hour every day, and spend one day outside. Yeah. Even if you're just sitting on your porch.
Right, sitting on your porch too is like there's always going to be the kids and the people walking by, and you just
yeah, just hi. How are you doing today?
Old man behind. I sit behind my bush, and when the kids walk by, and I'm like, "You kids don't walk on my grass."
Yeah. I know. I have to practice that. I have to practice being an old man.
Yeah, you could do grumpy old man just because it's funny. The kids will be like, "Fuck you, old man." He'd be like, "You little pansies, don't make me come out there."
Well, I don't know. At the same time, it's like those little kids. It's like once in a while you could throw them a ball. You buy a ball for them, throw them a ball. It's just like from the bushes, you throw the ball out from the bushes.
Yeah, they'll throw it back.
And the kids look around. It's like, where the ball come from? It's like,
yeah, I used to love doing that. And my old house was perfect for it. The one that I sold 2 years ago, and it had a big hedgerow in the front, and you could not see on the front porch. And then the kids would walk by, and I would just kind of sit back there and look. Me and my buddy used to sit back there. It's like, and just yell something rude to them. They got after about like a month or two, they would actually make time to walk by just so they can do that, because it became it became an event for them.
Because
once they realized that I was just trying to be funny.
Honestly, playing with the kids is like, once in a while, that's actually kind of fun to do.
Yeah.
But I have to say this. I have to say this because you do not want to get involved with kids who have a mother attached to them and being
Right.
involved with
Yeah.
that mother.
Yeah. Oh, I've had that happen where, a kid came around, started cutting my grass or something and doing something around the house. And then the next thing is, oh, you want to come meet my mom? It's like,
Yeah,
no,
that's where it's like, yeah, that's where like the stop sign comes up. It's like we're not going any further.
no, I don't want to do that. Yeah. Is your mom a stripper? You got to ask, is your mom a stripper? That would be really cool.
Well, even so, if she was, it'll be fun times, but it'll be a whole bunch of trouble. That's the only problem.
Yeah, because I need a back rub. I mean, she can get deep into my.
Yeah, I know. I can listen to me personally. It's like how many times I wish someone could give me a back rub,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking it's like, okay, I could go to the massage parlor and get one,
Yeah,
but
you could go to a massage parlor and you know,
I don't know about that.
yeah, that's the Joey Hoka massage parlor.
Yeah.
Like I could, like there's two around me. There's two around me within walking distance, but yeah, it's like it's not the massage parlors themselves. It's like the other people who go to those places as well. I'm not
Yeah,
saying everybody is insane or whatnot, but out here in Toronto, we had a couple of shootings and a stabbing
right.
at massage parlors.
Yeah, sometimes them places get a little rowdy. Or you can get a lazy. I used to have a lazy boy chair that had the roller massage on the back, and you just
Oh,
turned it on and just kind of. I didn't want to get out of that chair. That chair was great. It had a phone in one hand, and one thing you opened it up and there was a phone, and the other one had a little cooler.
oh, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah, and then you turned on the massage. You had massage and heat, a phone, and you can hook it to the internet and put your. It had a little thing where you can put your tab there, and that was the greatest chair of my life. And then it broke.
Get the armchair repairman in.
Yeah, I just threw it out and got a new one. I got like four of these chairs. Like it's like, but they're not the same. They don't have the they don't
Oh
have that
yeah,
roller massage.
because I can't get one here because there's not enough space for a decent chair like that at my computer desk. But who knows what will happen in the future?
Yeah, who knows? There's always old people throwing them out.
Well, it's a matter of where I'm going to be living because I'm not going to be living here
Yeah,
uh, for too much longer. It's not for the next 20 years until I retire.
yeah,
Uh,
that's where I get all my chairs from. I go on the Let Go, and people are selling chairs, and they don't know. They say, well, the controls broke, so you can have it for like a good price, and and most people have no idea how to put a new control in. It's like it's $17. You can get the control on eBay for $17 and replace them
yeah, sure.
and just
Yeah,
clean the chair up.
not everybody who knows the information or wants to go through that trouble.
Right.
That's
Yeah, it's
fine.
really easy to do, and finding the controls on eBay's, and so you usually get the chair just for like $50 or something in removal.
Like this is how I've been able to get by even when I wasn't working full time was because I knew some skills that other people didn't,
Yeah.
and they were hiring me to do it. Like even if it's just like a 1 day or half a day work, it's like you know what, that's money in my pocket,
Right. I
and
was
it just
thinking about that lately. That's another skill that I have where I can I repair I can repair those handicap chairs and lift chairs, and I with the making the bikes, I can also repair wheelchairs and automated wheelchairs because they're the same thing.
but that's another thing because of regulations. You wouldn't be able to open up a business at your location unless you went through and got permits and got things
Right.
changed from the city. Even though that you open up a business like that could actually help a lot of people in that area,
Right.
it'll be too difficult for you to do.
They would try to make it difficult. You'd have to lie, yeah, and just kind of advertise and say that you're not working at that area, but really your garage is your garage, and you can do whatever you want inside your garage.
Yeah, I know exactly. Like you're supposed to have freedom. It's like you paid for that property, you paid for that house.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like
You know what
why can't
they
I
don't
just
want
do
you to
this
do is start writing it off on taxes, whether you have where your garage is your business space, and you can write that off, and then you have a home office, you write that off, and then they don't want to let you do what's actually fair.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, you don't have to write it off as a home office.
Yeah.
You could just be running your business out of there.
Yeah, you would like to, but yeah, they make it so difficult because they're going to get their money on the other side too, and plus they're going to charge you city taxes.
Yeah, so it's like no winning. Like the problem is the government. It's like regardless of anything we say about women or anything like that, it's like it does eventually come down to the government. Is the biggest concern. Because like what you guys were talking about earlier, women are just women. Like you can't really expect them to be different than how they are.
Right. Yeah.
But
it's
the government.
Yeah.
It's the government that gives them power to.
Right. All women are like that is because all women are like that. There's no. We got 5 people. We got Loki.
But
that's Hetty. Yeah.
It's the government that gives them power to.
Right. All women are like that is because all women are like that. Okay, Hetty, you got to turn off your browser. Okay, there you go. And Black Wolf is in. So.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey,
what's up, man?
How's it going? Oh, it's going great, man. I'm just kicking back and ready to wind down for the day. I was able to finish everything about 2 hours early, so I'm pretty happy. I was listening in while I was cleaning up the garage, and RP's right. It's really silly, but they might as well just make it illegal to criticize women because they've already gone after comedy. You can't make jokes anymore. Can't say really anything. And I mean, and he's right. We really should take this up with the government. But by the same token, if people start becoming preppers and leaving society as a whole and making their own thing, I don't blame them for that because yeah, people, especially a lot of the elderly, they got together in my neighborhood. They paved the roads, and a lot of them are just becoming more and more anti-government, and I kind of don't blame them for that because I'm well on my way down the same road. If the government doesn't want to give money for the roads, fine, fuck it, we'll fix it ourselves. If they don't want to send us money to fix the houses, fuck it, we'll fix it ourselves. I mean, that's. If people were more self-sufficient, we wouldn't have a lot of these problems. And I don't just mean with the laws and women. I mean the fucked up laws as a whole. So excuse my language, but I just mean it all stems from a sense of narcissism, over-entitlement, laced with insecurity, and put that all in a ball. And that's what we're dealing with today.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on it because I've been doing everything I can to finish up my little degree online, and honestly, to everyone watching this, I'm thinking about just finding a cave or going in the mountains or somewhere where it rains and just getting the hell away from all of this because this isn't getting better. This is getting worse.
It's getting
worse. And I don't foresee a time of this getting better. And on my channel in general, I try to make jokes about it, and I try to be lighthearted about it. But in the back of my mind, I know that I'm joking about it's like joking about a cobra in the room. We all see the cobra. We don't want to get bit by it, but I have to make a joke about it to take away an ounce of its power, an ounce to just to rationalize what the heck is going on because it's overwhelming.
The only way you can take away the snake's power is by putting a snake over his head so he can't get up.
Put it in the bag.
Yeah.
Put it in a bag or something.
But it's
'Cause
hard. I mean, when you got every legal law telling you don't touch the snake, don't criticize the snake.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
well,
it's
you guys down in the States there, it's like you guys been doing some things that are pretty much fighting back against the system, but we have to see how things go. Because like who knows, nothing could happen, or even if they're successful, it doesn't mean it changed anything for like lives of the men like us.
I agree. It's just so bad to the point like you won't be able to run anywhere at this point unless you just kind of go into full blown isolation. Even that, city people moving up here, it's like a virus. I mean, the women, and I noticed that among the younger generation, it's getting even worse. The women are out of control. The boys are developing the same type of narcissistic tendencies, and what they fail to understand is, I mean, something really bad is going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but if this trend keeps continually going, you have the elderly who are scared, justifiably so. You have guys like me who are scared, justifiably so, because we're not like head up, head up in the city and everything, and they're bringing all this to other people. I mean, people will defend themselves. I don't know where they get this idea that people aren't going to fight to defend themselves in this. I think Mgtow is, if anything, is trying to prevent the worst case scenario, which is just whooping butts, because
Right.
it might, go on hockey mask. More and more is seeing like a viable option. Now, granted, I'm not going to do that, but for the less less inclined individual, they will, and because they're growing up in this. Some of them don't have any kind of knowledge of Mgtow, so it's worse for them. At least we
Well,
have this.
yeah, that's what our Constitution that we live under says. We have the right to redress our grievances. But when they stop redressing these things and they stop, like men's rights, been asking for men's rights for 40 years, and there is no grievance. They don't even consider our grievances. Uh, Sooner or later, that was very much strategically put in there to go back. Well, now we have Second Amendment rights and we have First Amendment rights, and those things pick up the aggression a little. So wouldn't it be easier to redress our grievances, or at least
Yeah,
talk?
it would be a lot easier. And the problem is, when they control the social narrative and what, air quote free speech is and everything,
Right,
it's almost become illegal for men to even defend themselves, even when you have
right.
every right
Because
to defend
that's
themselves.
part of the problem when they'll just go, "No, you're wrong," and we're not wrong. We're absolutely 100% right. All we want is the same freedoms as everybody else, and that's the autonomy and I want our government to look at things logically, not this crazy religious shit that they got going on, where there's such things as honor and or chivalry, and you have to be a chivalrous male and step in and suffer. No, that's crazy shit there. And that's the stuff we're asking. Like, I can't get pregnant. It's her body. Uh, it's
Yeah,
her responsibility, 100%, not mine. Uh, I want to enjoy my life. I want to enjoy my freedoms.
exactly. And
I
it
mean, back
shouldn't.
in the 1800s, yeah, someone had to take care of the girls. Now it's not my problem.
Exactly, and that's something I reflect on. I reflect on my past relationships, good and bad, and then one of the most painful things that I discovered prior to coming to Mgtow is it wasn't the fact that that time period was over. It was the fact that we'll never have a sense of normalcy really ever again unless something dramatic happens, and I know it won't be how it was before because a lot of us grew up with that mentality. Get a job, start a family, and they make it sound so easy. But then
Mhm.
when you really start to think about the cost versus the reward and all the bad things that can go wrong, whether the relationship is good or bad, it's like you're dating the entire world. I mean, hell, even as a single man, it's everybody is up in your business, whether you have a relationship or you don't have one. Oh, you don't have one. What do you do for a living? How much money you make? I mean, it's so insane that it's enough to make you want to get away from people because it's the social awkwardness, and society is just a very creepy place to be, and I'd say downright dangerous place to be when people can one keystroke ruin your entire life. Well, he said this or he did this. Let's end him. It's a mob mentality, and a very dangerous one at that.
Why not? People ask is like, just find a spot for yourself in this world and live life the best way that you could. You don't necessarily have to have a relationship. You don't have to have children. You can find what you want to do. Like, it could be helping people or it could be helping no one. But
That's
it'll
true.
be your choice. It'll be your choice.
Right. Yeah. Choice for males is important. Like you can choose to involve yourself in that, but you shouldn't be forced to involve yourself in that. That's what forced fatherhood is. It's like they're forcing you to take that a responsibility that really isn't yours. I mean, they're not your kids. They're
I
her
mean,
kids.
hell, back then we had some level of option, and it's kind of ironic that you would think some form of a loyalty would take place for all the thousands of
Right.
years of building society, because we had no obligation to
Well,
take care of
that
women.
is the problem. They have no loyalty, or they have no honor. It's conscience by concern, and they have no loyalty to that. And but it's expected out of you. Your loyalty to the system or your honor and chivalry is expected. Their loyalty is not even brought up. They don't have to have no honor. They don't have to have no loyalty. It's a different equality for both men and women. Men have expected. Our morals are expected, and what they call morals and ethics are expected out of us. But they're allowed to have polygamous relationships, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 baby daddies. They get 5 slaves. They get 5 incomes. They're allowed to have as many children as they want with as many men as they want, and there's no loyalty in that system. So why, if there's no loyalty in that system, then why is loyalty expected out of us?
Yeah, because we've
There's no loyalty.
essentially,
There's no equality.
There's no equality in that system. Yeah, we're forced fathers. We're forced slaves. And that's only because of fatherhood, because someone got us all to buy into some fake concept that we were somehow pregnant. We weren't pregnant. She was pregnant.
it's quite the mind screw when you think about it.
Yeah, it's like the mind screw. And I know it's hard for people to get, you know, how a couple of these guys reacted when I said that, like I was tipping the world upside down for them. And
Yeah.
but I know how hard that is to realize. But once it gets in your head and you start thinking about it, it's like Joe's 100% right.
And the thing is, you saw how pissed off people. I remember being in stream and saying in another stream, I just said sex was overrated. And man, every dude was wishing me death just for saying that, which it is.
Oh, you're on the Black Manosphere too.
It is
Yeah,
highly
I've
overrated.
learned to just avoid such places at this point. RP, they did a number on me, a pretty significant number, to where I'm not angry. It's just like hell. We can't even like talk without having a semi-war now because of that shit. The obsession with pussy just became too great.
Yeah, and it's not sex with them. It's that expectation of the cuddling, and the girl's got to hang around and do your laundry and shit like that. That's what they really want. Sex only takes 15 minutes, and that only costs $50 with a chicken head.
Yep.
But they want all that other stuff. They want a girl to make their bed, do their laundry, give them emotional support, cuddles, and make their dinners and clean the floors for them and stuff like that. And then that's because they're immature children and they don't do that for themselves. They want a replacement mommy. And that's when it gets all so like cringy.
Like they're asking, the men are asking too much from the women, but the women are also expecting too much from the men at the same time too.
Right.
And
That's
what it boiled down to is like nobody's going to be happy in a relationship ever.
Yeah, that's where the supposed trade-off is. And the supposed trade-off is you engage yourself in this kind of relationship, you get that, and it's an altruistic relationship. There's what do you call that? Reciprocal altruism, but they don't want to perform the reciprocal altruism deeds anymore.
Yes.
And you get this, she gets this. But she wants it all now. She wants a cake and she wants to eat it too.
That's
I don't
That's
know
what's
if that's
funny about it. It's like some weird role play Barbie thing. I mean, and these guys have gotten mad at me, especially in that section, RPM map you brought up. That section over there, I've had dudes get mad at me because I told them, or get this, or get this. How about you cook and clean for yourself,
yeah,
and that way
yeah.
you don't have to
Why don't you
get a
just
woman to do that.
not expect a reciprocal altruism, and then just keep it real simple? And then if you don't expect this, then she can't expect this. It's one thing precedes another in this world.
Yeah, because
Exactly.
like Black Wolf, you're not wrong. It's like they're looking for a mama.
She's looking for mamas.
Yeah,
Like
they wanna.
I've been in that Black manosphere as well, and yeah, some of the guys actually do make sense. They actually do lean more to Mgtow, but that's not the majority of the guys in the Black manosphere.
Yeah, I mean the whole creation of it, if it served any purpose, I mean it started off with an okay message. I mean, I always took it as okay. This is the left
Right.
perception of it. That's kind of how I ran it. But
That was the Immort. But even
yeah,
the Immorts, like they change back to like the old ways of pretty much like Tricuck or
yeah, it
yeah,
has like an MRA vibe now, and
yeah.
it's just kind of
Yeah, that MRA vibe where I can always spot that when they're looking for that reciprocal altruism, and that
yeah,
reciprocal altruism does not exist anymore. She's looking for a baby mama that she can trap with the government and cause the government to thug you into giving half your pay to her. That's all she's looking for. And then she's looking to move on to baby daddy number 2. That's when it
yeah,
becomes slavery. And that's when it becomes riskful, harmful. We have more poverty because of it. You're actually creating two ends of poverty at that. You're burning the candle from two ends, creating poverty on both ends. You're creating poverty in the male, which they will just ignore the male if the male is impoverished by the situation. But you're creating the females to be, they have 2-3 kids from two, and then she has to go down to the welfare department and go through all that jumps and paperwork because of their system that they're being paid very well to do. When if the altruism just went straight over, like I say, and we set up a system where there wasn't no family courts and no marriage and that stuff, the altruism would be taken care of simply by the fact that you pay taxes.
Yes.
And that's the way it was always intentionally meant to be. Altruism was never supposed to be seen. And that's what I used to call it chasing your alms. You're not supposed to chase your alms. And in a biblical sense, chasing your alms is one of the worst. That's when you give $5 to somebody at the grocery store and then you follow him in the store to make sure he's not buying beer.
Because I say that too. Like, I said to somebody else, I can't remember, but like if you give somebody money, you can't ask them what they're going to do with it once you
Right.
actually give it to them free. Once you give the money to them freely.
Right. That's what the social systems were supposed to be like. Men agreed to pay taxes to take care of the baby mamas and the kids and give them places to live and let them grow up and everything. We agreed to that system. Now the social service system came in and they started cutting little pieces off of that for themselves. Now they're stealing from the system and they're stealing from the men and double taxing them with child support. That's a wrong system. They're
Yes.
chasing their alms. And then they're complaining that we got all these baby mamas out there. And if we do reduce the amount of baby mamas, well, who gets to keep the cash then? Well, the government people get to keep the cash. That's where it runs into Durkheim's social fact, where the government's just become self-serving.
It shouldn't be like that.
It shouldn't be like that. No, that's where us men have to get out our pitchforks and torches, so to say, and go make a change back to where I just pay taxes and I don't have to worry about the baby mamas. They're taken care of. And if you don't do your job, you will lose your job. And I don't want to pay some guy 160 and 170 while he's driving around in a Mercedes Benz while I'm working and paying taxes to pay those things and not making as much as him. No, we got to take a serious look at those people. They are seriously self-serving. And they want to make it into a jobs program. So we have more poverty. They create poverty so they have more jobs.
Yeah, because they'll never want that system to stop, because then they wouldn't be able to make any money anymore off it.
That's why you look at what happened. And everybody asks what happened in 1970s to 1972 to 1976. What happened in that system was poverty fell below 10% in America. So they had to make a system that created poverty. They got no-fault divorce, and they got rid of the Edmunds Act. That did it. The black neighborhoods fell apart because
yeah, they were first.
Yeah, they were first to fall apart. Now the white neighborhoods soon they soon followed, and they created the poverty so they can keep their jobs, not so they can but they can pat themselves on the back and say, oh, look what we're doing. Now Durkheim warned us against this stuff. But how do we get out of it? Well, Camus tells us, the rebel. Even Marx was he would. This is what's going to happen, he says. And if you don't want this, you don't want these Burgess people. That he was talking about, Marx's socialism was talking about the Burgess, the same people we talk about, the people that were stealing money from the system of altruism. And I hear Marxism's bad and everything. No, he's just an idiot. Anybody that says that has never read it and never realized that this system is exactly what he was talking about, how bad it is. And it will get worse unless we do something about it. But the men got to Mgtow, and they got to, the MRAs got to stop simping and stop expecting that altruistic, because women ain't giving it no more because they don't have to.
This is why I say when things get hellish, something has to change. I mean, that's the only thing.
Break here.
Because the government can't take care of all these women, and they will drop them eventually to where, okay, the men don't want to pay for them, government don't want to pay for them because it was good for a while.
So self-serving with your tax money that they don't take care of the one thing they're supposed to take care of.
Exactly, and that's what's really funny to me. Women think the government won't drop them. When it does, men won't want to take care of them unless they're insane. The government they'll be done with them because they'll say, well, you're not spending as much money anymore, and you're not doing this A, B, and C more. We found a new method. They were just a means to an end. The only reason women even got the right to vote or any of these perks that they got was just to get them out of the house and all of it just led back to money. They destroyed the family unit for money.
It becomes, they destroy. It becomes when you look at the definition of racketeering, it thoroughly destroys our government. They set up a system that has fake problems that they say they're going to cure, but it's the same thing as the mafia guy coming into your store saying, these people will rob you, and I'll keep them away from you if you just give me money. And the only people that are going to rob you is the people that were going to protect you against that. So the government's saying the same thing. We're going to protect you against that, but if without them, that you wouldn't need that protection. They are the criminals.
Yep.
It's 100% racketeering. The whole family court system is just 100% racketeering.
This is why it needs to come. It needs to come spiraling down.
Yeah, the money ain't there because they're stealing it.
True.
Yeah, you know how easy that would be to fix with today's modern computers and everything. You go to the library. Here's the way it would work in a totally honest altruistic system where reciprocal altruism is a thing, you'd go. A female has a baby out of wedlock, or there would be no wedlock. She'd go down to the library, open up the computer, fill out the blocks that come out, and say what she makes and what she doesn't make, if she's working or not, and then she would send her a check and pay for her housing and whatever the kids need. It would be so easy, and you wouldn't have to have a human present.
Yep. It'd be a lot better that way, because my whole thing about it is I'm so sick of this, women can't control that biology crap, but we're supposed to. My thing about it is, as men, we only have, one or two ways to prevent pregnancy. Women have like so many ways, and yet they still keep having babies left and right. And kind of makes you wonder,
That's because we take the agency away from them. If she decides to have a baby, it's 100% her responsibility, because that's her body. You don't make a girl pregnant. She decides she wants to get pregnant, and them are two different things.
Yeah, whatever happened to that crap they were sprouting? Oh, my body, my choice until I have a baby.
Her choice, right up to the time where she gets pregnant. Then it's my body, your responsibility.
Yep.
That's hypocrisy in its greatest. But in the system that I propose, where we get rid of the family courts and we get rid of marriage and we get rid of all them stupid ass religious laws, and we get rid of the people that are actually stealing the money, which are the government people, the altruism goes straight over to the recipient then through a computer system, and we don't even have to worry about it as men anymore. And that makes men wealthier. That will drive your economy. That will drive industry. That will drive technology. That will give you. But if that system went in place, I'll bet you within 50 years, all this would change into like that futuristic Jetsons sort of thing, because men would have money to think about technology. Men would have time to do that. Men would have time to invest in technology and making our world a better place. But it ain't going to happen in this system. This system is repressive to evolution. They want to stay in this 1950s zone where men are just slaves. And no, Mgtow's waking up to it. It won't be long before we have to go to force. But that's their decision. We don't have to go to force. They just have to hear us and let us regress our grievances. Oh, I'll stop preaching.
Okay, Trev. Hello.
Hello. Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. And talking about the Marx, nobody read his book because he criticized capitalism, and
he criticized capitalism,
and Americans don't like it.
Yeah. Well, capitalism is now a predatorial capitalism. That's what we have here. It's
he warned about it.
He warned of that.
Yes, but his conclusion is not right. But
no, he described the dialectics that would take place in that situation. He just foretold that if this battle between the Burgess and this continues, it will turn to communism. And that's what he said. He wasn't responsible for the communism. He just said, this is what's going to happen if this dialectic takes place. He prognosticated it. And then, Durkheim, Engels, and Marx all worked together on that. And they all had the same idea. It's not like it was wrong.
No, but
yeah, and it was just you're blaming when I hear people that are anti-Marx, they're blaming it's like blaming the post office delivery guy for delivering a letter.
Yes, no, but it's also funny because the people in America, even if they vote for the politics, They vote in their own, not in their own interest.
Right. They don't vote in
No,
their.
no general health care. I don't know. No housing. Simple
Yeah.
things. We have all here in Europe. You don't have it.
Yeah. You have socialized healthcare, and it works out very well. It's not the devil that they said it was, and um,
Yes, and most people are going bankrupt in America now pub, by healthcare bills.
yeah, yeah. I don't know how they expect us to continue working. Well, Plato was highly against. He in the Republic, in Plato's Republic, he told you what was going to happen in a democratic society. Uh, and he put it as, and then we can look at the George Bush years. He says the son of a ruler would become the ruler, and then all this shit's going to go to hell. And then you'll see how your democracy works out.
Yes, but in Europe, the democracy is also beginning at its end because the coronavirus showed it.
Yeah, yeah, it showed up most of the flaws in the system. I think Mgtow is a big part of fixing the system. It's like we have to get rid of family courts. We have to get rid of marriage. And the religious people want to hang on to that because that's their God, and that reflects their ethics. But these things are killing. These will kill the world.
Yes, also I think for also the no default divorce is also killing. If you
Yeah.
have a full divorce, it will be better.
Right, you should just get rid of the whole divorce system. Yeah, they created poverty with no fault divorce. That made it the ability for polygamy. There's no there's in my opinion, when they ended the Edmunds Act and they put in no fault divorce, them two things work hand in hand together. There's two tenets of barbarism: one's slavery and one's polygamy. Them things work hand in hand. You create poverty. Poverty is in debt. You created slavery to debt slavery, wage slavery. Then you gave polygamy. And women are allowed to be polygamous now. And you can see how it all worked out wonderfully for these people that have these lighter than air jobs in the government.
Yes, you see it. And you see it also that the women are now, not the men are proposing to women, but the women are proposing to men.
Yeah, yeah.
And
we see
and
that
that's
in India more in that sort of that Eastern thing with India. Women have so much the demands on getting a husband now. That's an interesting thing that's going on, and we should talk about what goes on in India someday. I mean, we just seen a good example of it. The girl died, had a heart attack while she was getting married, and the sister stepped in. The body got moved to the other room, and the sister married the dude.
there goes the marriage.
Yeah, and that all goes with bride price. The bride price was paid. Someone had to get married.
Yeah. I'm happy you mentioned that because a lot of men need to hear this. They keep trying to make it about one single group thing, and no, it's freaking all of us. It's worldwide, man.
Yeah, it's except for Mgtows, we sweep our side of the street. We're just saying we're not going to participate in that thing. We're going to keep ourselves clean and not participate in it. And you idiots out there, we're going. You idiots, go do what you want, but just leave us alone. But they ain't going to leave us alone. They hate us for not participating in their systems of slavery.
Yeah, they want to force us.
They want to force us. Yeah, like, just get back in there, become a father. You'll be a forced father, and it's not even fatherhood. It doesn't even resemble fatherhood. The idea of fatherhood now just comes from the German Pator. Pator means the responsible party, and you become the payor, the paydor. You're the responsible. You're going to become the payer. You become an ATM.
But what I'm also seeing is lots of lots of clips at YouTube against you, Mgtow. You see,
Yeah.
certainly from Australia and Germany also, because I understand German.
Okay. Yeah, you get all the clips from. We don't get a lot of clips from the because we don't understand German and we don't understand some of them, so we don't get those clips here. Or they just don't come into our feed. But you get to see the whole thing from where you're at in Amsterdam. It's like
Yes, but my German is also not so good, but
that's
I
a good. Yeah,
understand a
mine
little bit. It's a family language.
it's the family language.
Yes, Dutch is it's a family language, but
You're in the original language was Dutchy, wasn't it?
yes,
Dutchy was the original language, and that's like Nietzsche was Nietzsche. Would it be the Dutchy?
the Dutch, the Dutch language, but that is the Germans don't understand, but we understand German.
Mm-hmm.
That's the short answer. The
Yeah,
Germans can't understand Dutch, but the Dutch can understand German.
yeah. I think that's kind of funny, but
Because we have a totally different language.
yeah, I guess it's the same as if you understand Latin, then you'll understand German, and you'll understand Spanish.
Yeah, yes, Latin speaks understand Spanish and Italian.
Yeah, Spanish and Italian. If you just learn Latin.
The strange language is Portuguese.
Yeah, it's Proto-Germanic is where the things come in.
The strange language in Europe is Portuguese. There's language
Yeah,
that no one speaks.
no one speaks. Now they speak a lot down in Southern America, Portuguese, but it's a really hard language to learn. It's like Hindi. I tried learning Hindi this year, and Hindi is impossible to learn unless you were born Hindi.
Russian is also a difficult language.
Yeah, it's very difficult. But I kind of like Russian. Well, you should be able to pick up Russian real easy because of the pronunciation on the Dutch.
No, it's totally different language.
It's totally
Yeah.
different.
They're
Okay.
totally different because their grammar is they have certain words.
Yeah.
And
You know what?
in a sentence, he saying the words, you know what he means.
Yeah. I found it weird that the Irish people can pick up Russian because they do the Gaelic and they have that hard pronunciations.
Yes, yeah, the Celtic language, but
The Celtic language, yeah.
no, but even the Scots, if they talk to you, you don't understand them.
Yeah. Oh, nobody understands Scottish people. Even if they're speaking English, you don't understand them. You can need a translator.
No. And also the funny language is Greece.
Greek, yeah, Greek. My brother was in Greek. He speaks some Greek. Had a girlfriend there, and that's a funny area.
Yeah, but it's also old history. Yeah, so
Yeah.
they
Now,
conquered
Greek,
many places.
Yeah. Now I started studying Greek when I was religious, so you can read the fourth century. Most Christians understand some portion of Greek because they do the fourth century translations.
Oh, do you mean Old Greek? Not the modern.
The old Greek, yeah, and Latin and Greek were sort of mixed, but it's a dead language now. But that's the only way you can do the rightful translations.
Yes, it's given here at school.
Is it?
Well, yes, but it's only for the higher education.
Highly educated, yeah, people.
The high school.
If you can afford to go to
a special school, is it?
Yeah,
You call
special
the
Catholic
gymnasium or
school.
so.
Yeah, if you move from the German educational system, you move out of the German educational system, you move into a Catholic, you usually get a Latin course.
Yes,
Yeah,
but it's all church related.
but that education cost a shitload of money. I was sending my kids here, even here, I was sending my kids to Catholic school, and even back in the 80s, it was costing me like the whole thing was some phenomenal $21,000 for me per year in the 80s and the 90s, and that was phenomenal amount of money.
Now, here only in Holland, the only thing that costs money is university
Or the university, yeah,
and high and college.
in college, yeah.
The rest of the education is for free.
Yeah, and even the granting and the loan system's easier for you guys. And uh, the way to really get college there is to go to prison.
No. If you want to go to college, you get you do your course part time.
Yeah,
In 4 years, and then you got your paper.
yeah, get your papers. Yeah, I was reading. Well, I was watching some videos and reading up on the Holland prison system, and those guys got it good.
Yeah, but I know. I was in the past. I was not so good boy. So
Yeah,
I was also in prison, but not in prison, by the police.
yeah,
Yeah, it's for 2 days.
yeah. Yeah, they have a system in there that there's these. Oh, I can't remember what they call them, and they're like homes rather than prisons, and the lifestyle is much better than even I have now. And me and Messenger were talking about this one day. Would you rather, in American capitalism, would you rather go to work and have to endure that hell, or spend like a month in prison? And we were like, I'll take the month in prison. 3 hots and a cot. I don't have to do shit. I'm not getting tortured.
No, but it changed now. The prison regime is now
Did they
much,
adjust?
yeah, and what also important is why is America have so many prisoners?
Yeah, we have over two right now. It's like I think it just moved up to like 3.2 million prisoners right now, and them are for minor offenses. They were trying to get rid of minor offenses like drug, opiates, and opiate addiction. It was a minor offense, and marijuana was a big. It used to be you get caught with a joint here, you went to prison, and that was fucking lunacy. Uh, but now it's traffic violations, non-paid traffic violations, and then you get a contempt of court, and then you go to prison for 2 years, and it's an industrialized prison system, or with child support too, and the industrialized daddies for cash, we call it. If you can get a guy in debt from the child support system and then run them through the prison system, then it's daddies for cash. The judges get kickbacks on that. so at one time in this area, this Grafton prison down a little ways from here, like 60% of the guys that were there were in there for child support. It's daddies for cash, and the prison. It's the same as kids for cash when they're taking the kids and putting them into the system, and then the judges were getting kickbacks on the kids, and that got exposed. But they don't really care about the daddies for cash system. And that's just 100% pure corruption.
Yes, and I think over 10 years, the women will feel the same as the men.
Yeah.
They will go to prison. They will get no pay cuts and wait in line.
Yeah, if they ever have to take responsibility for their decisions in getting pregnant and that stuff, and if they have to have responsibility for their kids and everything, actually, and men don't take the bulk of responsibility for that, yeah, women will start going to prison for that, and that will become another payday for the system. They'll take that and manipulate because they are self-serving.
You know, that could actually be part of their plan because when you
Yeah,
think about it,
yeah,
women were air quote in the house for a good, portion of human history and made all these rules and gave them all these perks to get them out of the house to collect this money. And now that they're out there, they're trying to they're trying to get all the money they can
right.
before it's not marketable anymore. People get sick of it. And the crappy part about it is it's become a lose. Well, I wouldn't say a lose-lose situation, but a win-win for them because even
Right.
if men and women are treated equally, that's going to be even better. This just be a new way to make money. They'll cut women
It'll
off
just
of the
provide new
payroll.
revenue for the government. The self-serving government will collect revenue on that, and they'll
Yeah,
be the same systems. They'll be, you know, moms for cash systems, and put the girls in jail, and then some millionaires or billionaires make money on the prison systems. It'll turn out to the same corruption unless we change. That's why I say we have to change the system, not have pillow fights with feminism. Pillow fights with feminism is the diversion.
yeah.
And
Yes.
them MRAs think they're actually changing it. No, they're just on for the ride. Then if they get what they want, it'll just make the system worse.
No, the MRI want to go back to the 1950s, and there
Yeah,
is no 1950 anymore.
there ain't no 1950s anymore, and
And all the houses are also gone.
yeah, that's a non-state of affairs. It's an impossibility. So when you realize what will really happen is it'll just create more debt, more slavery, more prison systems. That's all it's creating, and the government loves that because they feel like, oh, we're getting more revenue, we're getting more jobs are being created, but that's a system of casteism too. You'll have people that work for the government, sort of, it'll become almost like the Russian system. Either you work for the government and you become the higher paid caste, and or you're one of the proletariat and you're the working slave. So
Yes, what we also see in difference with the Canada and Europe is that the house prices are going up,
oh yeah,
and in houses who are what are available is only for millionaires.
yeah,
In New York, they have this lockdown. They have put 50,000 people out of homes.
right, yeah. I always had big problems with the renter system. I just call it a renter system. You see it in the news now that people can't pay their rent. Now, the problem isn't people can't pay their rent. The problem is the rent, because you're having to pay rent to a person that's cast at a higher caste than you.
Yes, and the own and the bailouts made the people who were rich richer,
Richer,
and the
yeah.
people who were poorer poorer. And I think civil war is coming to America.
Yeah, I think people are, catching on, and they just get it now more, and the kids get it. Uh, I mean, they've watched a horror. They're watching a horror unfold before them, and they don't want to be a part of that caste system. That I mean, so I think the easier way is just the Mgtow way or my way. I seem to be the only people that just get rid of marriage, get rid of the family courts, and fix the altruism.
Yep. I mean, in a way, it's almost like a win-win for us too because I've been at this Mgtow thing for a little over 5 years, and I discovered something that I guess was more obvious in everyone than it was me. I would make my videos and talk about stuff because I at least want to save at least one man from making a horrible mistake.
Yeah.
But then after being attacked so many times and the
Yeah.
festivity and these same guys like we're all trying to help them. Something dawned on me. If we do nothing, and jokingly promote the crazy stuff that feminism do, it'll hurt them and not us. I
Yeah.
mean, they're the ones going down promoting this. If they want to get pegged
Right.
by Jessica, let them get pegged by Jessica. I don't know why we're stopping them from getting pegged. Just yeah, I mean, to the people that don't like us, go get pegged by Jessica. I mean, I think that's the great outcome for them. I mean, they're getting screwed by them of the government. It's like trying to stop somebody from jumping off a cliff. Wait, no, okay,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. What we always said about that is these blue pill guys, the MRAs and everything, that want to go back and everything. You're just choosing your own. You're just volunteering for your slavery. I mean, don't volunteer for your slavery.
Yeah, I mean, if they feel their life is so worthless to have to dedicate themselves to that, and some weird misplaced sense of
Trev,
duty or honor, don't do it.
but Trev, even if you even with Miss Rising,
Yeah.
and Shining Light, I don't know, was he also against the fatherhood of you?
No, that seems to be what our riff was about. He believes in, well, the Christian idea of fatherhood is totally different than the fatherhood that's the reality, the state of affairs that exists now. You have to live in the state of affairs that exists, and fatherhood does, at a certain point, it just does not make no sense anymore for us to do that. We've been saying that. That's what that we're actually saying. We're buying into a social concept that really does not exist.
Yes.
It's just a made up social concept to structure society. But that doesn't exist. There's no longer a fair system and everything. He wanted the traditional system. He wants to believe he's a father. And I know that's rewarding. I know that's a rewarding system. And if the system was that way and that was a real state of affairs, then we could all participate in that system and it would be a fair system then. But it's not anymore. It's like what's his name, and Alice in Wonder said, if this was this, it would be. If this was, it could be, but it's not, and that's just the way it is. That's logic.
Yes, but what I mean to say to Black Wolf is we have to convince people first about
Right.
that the fatherhood isn't not anymore.
No.
But it's not a very hard message for people.
It's a hard message, and I will agree. And when I had that, I was on that cast with Mgtow Dictionary. When I said that fatherhood wasn't a real thing, he showed all of his traditional roots. He just went nuts. And I know it's a hard message. It's one of those red pills that men have to take that's going to cause rage in them.
Yep. That's why I try to.
But you can't protect yourself from that. We hear that all the time with the black pill and the red pill. Is like you're going to hear something that's going to cause rage within you. You can't protect the men against it. They have to go through that because they have to see the absurdity of the system.
Exactly. That's why, I mean, I've learned that, especially among the younger men, they have to either see it or experience it. Some won't learn just by hearing it. I mean, hell, some of them think we're just a bunch of dudes to get together. Oh yeah, we individually have this problem, so everybody else is. No, this thing is worldwide. It's legal. It's cultural. It's social. You can't get away from it. It goes far beyond dating, marriage, or any of that. The basic.
It goes far behind that stuff. Yeah.
It's bigger than us. It's bigger than that. I mean, it's the whole scope of
Right.
society is now functioning in a way to where you can't adapt to this, nor can it really be changed by normal means. So we have physically or artificially or whatever, we have removed ourselves from the situation. That's what Mgtow is. We're not like the MRA. We are stepping away from this, and I strongly urge other men to do the same. If they don't, then they're going to get hit.
Yeah, all it is that you have to take a metaphysical rebellion and rechange the way you think about the gender dynamic system, the marriage system, and everything, and not let those angers overwhelm you. And then once you get past that, it becomes very easy. You see you're on the other side, and you see that see how absurd all that stuff is. But but it will take a process, and then those guys rage out against, it's, man, I don't understand. I know people are triggery nowadays, and they're it's like you got to grow a thick skin to be a Mgtow.
Yep.
And you have to be gonna have to be very liberal about these things, and listen and accept these ideas that we give, and you can study them, you could critique them. I do that every day. When I come on here, I say, critique me. Go ahead. Send me through the mill to try to prove me wrong, but nobody can prove me wrong. It's in being insultive is not proving me wrong. Being just saying that things would be better if we move back to the 50s. That's not a state of affairs. That's like saying, at least I'm not in Cleveland. Oh,
Yeah.
well, that means nothing. Not, or at least I'm not in Detroit. That means nothing. It's a statement that means nothing.
And you know what's even funnier? All these guys talking about going 1940s and 50s. Both men and women, like the average man and average woman, they wouldn't make it. They wouldn't be able to live like that, much less afford it. They physically can't do it. They financially
Did
can't
you ever
do it.
read one of the first books that you should read in Mgtow when you come in was a book written in 1916 by it was Zenith, Ohio. Let me look that up. I can't remember the name of it. It takes place in Zenith, Ohio. Let me type that in, and I'll get the name of the book. Yeah, no, there's an actual city called that. They're talking about Xena. Okay. Yeah, the book's called Babbitt. And it tells of it's written in 1916, and it tells of the system that of business, and it starts around a Rotary Club, and you know what the Rotary Clubs are. They're illegal now. The Rotary Club and feminism. His daughter was a feminist, and he was married, but he didn't really want all that stuff. It was Sinclair. Sinclair didn't want all that stuff. And the business people in the town just grouped up against him, and the church grouped up against him. He was like the first Mgtow. He was like saying, I don't want this because it's all delusional. But to do that system that they want to go back to, you sort of have to live in a system that's like Zenith, Ohio. And once you read Babbitt, you understand what Sinclair had to go through. Well, Sinclair was the writer of that. But it explains how Mgtows think about these things. He didn't want to be married. He wanted to have some freedom. He wanted his daughter was this feminist, but what was holding him back was the Rotary Club was taking arms against him almost, and his friends were like, no, you have to do what I say. Now we can see that play out in Mgtow. Like when these people come on, you have to be this Christian. You have to participate. And that's all they're telling us. When this guy lately, I can't even remember his name, that made the video this week, is the Christian Treadcuck. And he's like, oh, no, you have to participate in our system or you're going to go to hell. That's not real. And there are certain choices that men should have. Fatherhood is a choice. It shouldn't be forced slavery, and you volunteer for those things. Those things that are reciprocal altruism, the altruistic things you volunteer for. Altruism is no longer altruism if it's forced.
Yes, but the problem for me, certainly, is how do I convince religious people? Because you can't, Christians, Muslims. If I say to the Muslim, the fatherhood doesn't exist, he would look with me with a funny face, laugh, and go away.
Yeah, he would, because that's what he believes in. That's what bind their systems. I mean, you have to. I mean, you really just have to scientifically kind of go through it in sociology and explain why there's. When you think about father, what is it? Are you having a baby? No, you can't have a baby. You're a man. She's having a baby. You know what it's called when you think you're having a baby? It's called Corvad's disease. It's a mental illness. Their whole thing is based on a mental disease. Now go look it up. That's what you got to do. Go look it up and then tell me I'm wrong.
I tried it, but I have no pleasant experience with it. So I don't leave it now.
Yeah, yeah, just
I would I'm to give them the red pills in other ways.
yeah, yeah. You can give them red pills, but these people, you're gonna have to back it up with scientific information. Sometimes that's mathematical. 86% of the people that get you know married will get a divorce from 25 to 32. Provide the statistics and provide a source where they can go read it. Uh, an honest source. Lawyers are going to say 50-50, and I told you what that is. That's when two people go into a divorce, one person gets a divorce, one person gets a judgment. And that's what makes it 50-50 for lawyers. That's the biggest lie there is.
Alloys are another class.
Yeah. So when you expose those little lies to people, I mean, sooner or later, men will rationally, they will rationally assimilate the information. But I don't know, this sort of MRA Christian thing that's coming upon us is like, it's like because you have to is not a. I was reading. I was supposed to write a paper this week on things that ended with because I said so. And because I said so is not a legitimate reason why you should have to do something.
That's there was never be no never was.
Never was, never will be. But people believe that, when the authority systems say because I said so. It's just, well, that's all that is because you said so. That doesn't make a legitimate argument. And that's the way people got to start thinking. But even that, for regular blue pill people, they're dictated by authority figures.
I don't think even the Pope says it anymore. I said so
Yeah,
because they will laugh at him.
they'll laugh at him. Yeah, and kids are becoming more. That's one of that because I said so is one of the when you take a writing course, that's going to be one of the questions that you're going to have to write about and a story with someone saying because I said so. And it's education. It's just to further educate these kids and then give them a chance to really think about how the world really works, not how the world works for Christian farmers out in Oklahoma that have may not even have a high school education.
Or the aim is
Thank God I kind of grew up where I did. This is there's like an Ivy League system up here that you can. People are generally a little smarter, but in America, we see the split now too. Most of the red states and that are just they're just farmers and people that want to go back to the 50s, and they believe in God and they believe in that system. That's what they're fighting for. We hear these politicians, rambling on about morals and ethics. No, they're just fighting for their system. They're fighting for their religious system that's wrong. But it's easy for them because they just accept it.
I read Chris Hedges about the Christian far right.
Yeah, the Christian far right is
and then it was a good,
traditional.
big, yeah, they are they're a big group in
Yeah,
America.
we that's what we would generally call in Mgtow is the traditional conservatives. They're
Hmm.
traditional conservatives. They trad cons. We call Mgtow. We call them trad cons. They're just idiots.
Yes, because Chris Hedges was also an yeah, he's a good writer.
Who is that?
Chris Hedges, he was a reporter for New York Times.
Oh,
Yeah, he wrote lots of books. He wrote about Trump and about America Farewell Tour. It was the last book. I'm reading that now.
okay.
He's also good. Yeah, he's a good writer.
What was his name again?
Chris Hedges.
Chris Hedges.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to look at Chris Hedges. There's a guy from our town that writes for the. He writes. He's an. What's the Pulitzer? He's a Pulitzer Prize winner from. I got to meet him once. I don't know if that was the guy. He writes a book. Does he write a book? Oh God, I can't. I'll have to go find it. It's a book on writing. I'll have to look that up. I thought I had it around here. Chris Hedges. I'm gonna have to go look him up. Yeah, I like to read. I read all the time. If it's not reading, then I just put audio book on the. While I'm making my dinner or something. Audio book is so great. You can just put a book up, and I'm making my dinner or cleaning the house, and I'm listening to an audio book, and then I go back, re-listen, and it's just easy.
Now I'm doing now it's a tip from a journalist who's yeah he's more for alternative media, and he says he stay up at 8 o'clock in the morning, read a book for an hour or two, and then that's your day, and don't watch TV.
Yeah, that's what you should do. It's enjoyable. You learn. You can learn from some of the greatest minds in the world. You can spend time with every day. Just read a book, and,
Yes.
and it's enjoyable. Something I don't. Sometimes I'll just pick up a Varnagit or something like that, or Steinbeck, and read that stuff. It's enjoyable. It takes you down it takes you down some thoughts but I think everybody should. But there's a vast difference in people in America and the people that would actually do that and people that don't do that. So most people in America, the title on the headlines on the paper, that's the most reading they will do in a week.
Yeah, what you mean that is shallow.
They're shallow. Yeah, they think Fox News is an audiobook.
That's right. I don't. I watch sometimes Fox News, but I don't. I don't. I don't understand why people follow it.
Yeah, they that's fear mongering. These evil feminists and libbies are coming and they're going to take your house and everything, and that's easy to draw up demons like that. We've done it forever in the world. We made demons out of things that they were just sidetracked us from what was really going on.
There was a nuclear plant in the neighborhood, but that wasn't important. No, there's also the war machine.
What's that?
The war machine is also.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, the war machine's out there, and I got stuck in that for a while, and
Yeah, you were a sergeant.
what's that?
You were a sergeant.
Yes, that's what they used to call me.
I was never in the army. That's why.
You never in the army? Yeah.
No, I'm
No, we don't-
diabetic, so I couldn't.
Yeah, we don't see Amsterdam in a lot of wars. America, on the other hand, we have a perpetual war going on with the world.
Yeah, it's funny that no politician stood up, said, why you going to war to everywhere?
Yeah.
Now they're looking war for Venezuela, Iran.
Yeah, that's the next looming war with Iran or Venezuela, and it's like, and that's a difficult a difficult thing. Venezuela is all about resources, and Venezuela's got oil, and Venezuela's got lithium, and they're choosing not to do business with, or the United States is choosing not to do business with them, which is really a fucking horrible idea. Uh, so the Iranians will. The Italians do visit with them, and you can look at the Italian lithium batteries, and you can get one for about $1,200, but it's got 90,000 AH up to 120,000 AH, and that's lithium from Venezuela.
Yes, Bolivia also lithium. Huh?
Yeah, Bolivia and Venezuela, and that's really high grade, high produced lithium, and they make great batteries, but and that's what the world needs right now. So there's going to be a fight over resources soon, and Australian lithium sucks. sorry,
Ah,
guys, but it is not refinable unless we find sources of. We can talk all day about building windmills and them stuff, but unless we find sources of lithium and get deals with those things, or a superconductor, if we can bypass the lithium, then we can bypass that war. And if we get a superconductor, there is, and I read an article the other day in Science Daily. I get Science Daily sent to me, and they I didn't know if it was a hoax, and they said they had created a superconducting material, and I thought, well, that's really exciting.
yes,
But
but is it on the market?
is it on the market? Is it a real thing? And I couldn't find any more material on it, and I'll have to go back and do the study this week. And I mean, if it is, I want some here because I got a ray gun I want to build, and I got my hydrogen generator. That's just it can't produce enough hydrogen. I need cold fusion.
Man, the best resource now for electricity is nuclear,
Nuclear, yeah. Well,
but nobody wants it in their backyard.
right, that's a big. We got a pretty good nuclear power plant up here. It's been running since the '60s, and we've never had no problem with it. And that's Davis Betsy. But yeah, people are afraid of nuclear power too. I think it's the cleanest power actually nowadays, but you need huge water sources.
Yes, and you have some weights, not all.
Yeah, and basically, nuclear power is depreciative. You can use it for a time, and then you don't have it no more. So we'll eventually run out of it. The best thing that can happen in the world is we depreciate all of our nuclear power, and then we won't have atom bombs. Sooner or later, they'll run out of that material and the uranium, and we won't have atom bombs no more. That would be the best thing that could happen to the world.
No, and the uranium is not still in mines in Africa.
Yeah, you can Africa. Let me see the uranium mines in Poland. Yeah,
And plutonium.
yeah, plutonium mines in Poland. That's a great story to read. There's a couple of books about that. About during the German occupation, they're searching for copper, and they're running these guys into these uranium mines, and they had no idea what it was. And there's whole towns that were dying off, and they had no idea what was causing it.
So, a trick they discovered by the Germans.
Yeah, and they were just discarded by the Germans. There's a couple good books about that. I can't remember. I started reading one once, but it was clear what had happened.
Okay, Trev, I'm gonna hang
Yeah.
up because it is now 2 o'clock.
Yeah, it's 2 o'clock in the morning for you there. Yeah,
Yeah,
7,
almost
12, yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, okay.
6 hours.
Yeah, 6 hours in front of me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody else has left, and I'm going to close this thing down because we were kind of way too far today off topic. And
Okay, bye.
okay, you take care, Eddie. And thanks a lot for everybody coming around, and thanks a lot for each person that showed, Joey and Suthi and RP for coming in, and Eddie for coming in, and we just like to discuss world topics and Mgtow, how Mgtow relates to world topics, and how it could be much better if everybody started, thinking Mgtow and had an analytical, rational, position on this thing. And that's about it. With that, I'm gonna go out to the garage and do some stuff and see what I cooked this morning or whatever. And thanks a lot for coming around, everybody. Thanks a lot for joining in. Thanks a lot for most of all, thanks a lot for being Mgtows.